family has been living off of the government for the past 4 years. My husband and I, neither one have had a job because we had children, and we decided we wanted to stay home with them and just soak in every moment. And so we haven't worked in 4 years. And my husband told me yesterday we can no longer go out to eat on Sundays because we have to put money aside because Donald Trump's taking our paycheck away because we get a government check once a month. And the more kids we have, the more money we get. So we've been having kids like nonstop for the past 4 years. We're up to 5 kids now. But anyway, I had to break that to my kids yesterday because they asked me why we weren't going out to eat. And I said, well, Donald Trump is a bad man and he was elected to be president and he's taken all our money away. And they started crying. And it just hit me that it was that simple for them to understand why Donald Trump would be a bad president. But there's grown people that voted for him. Donald Trump doesn't care about American citizens. If he did, my husband and I wouldn't have to be joining the workforce in January because he's taken our money away.
Welcome. Donald Trump has taken our money away. I just, look, YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, Facebook are full of all these videos of these far left liberals whining and crying that Donald Trump's a bad guy. Donald Trump's going to take away everything we have. Donald Trump's going to ruin us. Donald Trump's going to destroy us. Donald Trump is a dictator. They believed everything that the media told them. Now, I don't know if that little clip I just showed you is factual or not. It could be a spoof, but it was shared with me. I saw it on TikTok, and I thought I'd share it with you guys because even if it is a spoof, there are people just like that that are saying these kind of crazy things. Anyhow, you had any place you could be tonight. You chose to be here with me, and for that, I'm forever grateful. Thank you very, very much. We have an exciting show tonight. We have a lot of things we're going to talk about. And but first, let's get into what recently just took place. President-elect Donald Trump joined NBC's Meet the Press for an interview that aired this past Sunday night. Many of you may have seen it. And the president-elect railed that former Wyoming Republican Representative Liz Cheney, Benny Thompson, Adam Schiff, and the others on the J6 committee deleted and destroyed evidence related to the investigation and should go to jail. Cheney did something that's inexcusable, along with Thompson and the people of the unselected committee of political thugs and, creeps, he said in the interview. They deleted and destroyed all the evidence, and Cheney was behind it. And so was Benny Thompson and everybody on that committee, he continued, for what they did. Honestly, they should go to jail. Trump's comments that aired Sunday come as President Biden reportedly is considering issuing a blank preempted pardons to those viewed as Trump's political enemies, such as Cheney, Thompson, and Adam Schiff. Mississippi Democrat Representative Benny Thompson, who chaired the January 6th House Select Committee, responded to President-elect Trump's floating jail time for members of the Foreign Congressional Committee, underlining he is not afraid of Trump's most recent threats. Donald Trump has shamefully undermined the rule of law, degraded our democracy, and eroded our Constitution for years. And his latest lies about the work of the January 6th Select Committee are just the latest installment. But let me be clear. Those of us who investigated his central role in the January 6th insurrection are simply not afraid of his most recent threats, Thomas said in a statement to Fox News Digital yesterday. Donald Trump and his minions can make all the assertions they want, but no election, no conspiracy theory, no pardon, and no threat of vengeful prosecution can rewrite history and wipe away the responsibility of the deadly violence of that historic day. We stood up to him and will continue to do so. Thompson added in his statement to Fox Digital that the committee followed House rules throughout the investigation. Our committee was fully authorized by the House. Our rules were properly followed, and our work product stands on its own. In fact, In the 2 years since we have completed our work, no court or legal body has refuted it. Well, Benny, oh, I got news for you, my friend. I think you forgot that the Senate tossed your bullshit impeachment out twice. Cheney, a longtime outspoken critic of Trump's, also responded to Trump's remarks, slamming the suggestion of jail time as a constant continuation of his assault on the rule of law. Here's the truth. Donald Trump attempted to overthrow the 2020 presidential election and seize power, Cheney said in a response statement to Trump, which was provided by Fox News Digital. He mobilized an angry mob and sent them to the United States Capitol, where they attacked police officers, invaded the building, and halted the official counting of electoral votes. Trump watched on television as police officers were brutally beaten and Capitol was assaulted, refusing for hours to tell the mob to leave. Oh, Liz. You, madam, have found and started hitting the Hunter Biden crack pipe. The January 6th committee was founded in July of 2021 to investigate the breach of the U.S. Capitol earlier that year by supporters of Trump ahead of President Biden's officially taking office on January 20th. January 6th committee investigation was carried out when Democrats held control of the House. The committee concluded its 18-month investigation last year, with Republicans regaining control of the House, and sent referrals to the Justice Department recommending Trump be criminally prosecuted for his involvement in the lead-up to supporters breaching the Capitol. The committee, also composed of 7 Democrats and 2 outspoken and hand-selected by Nancy Pelosi anti-Trump Republican lawmakers, Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, both of whom are no longer in office. Trump has previously said, and new facts have come out, that members of the committee deleted evidence aimed at the investigation, which was supported by a report released by the House Republicans earlier this year, claiming that the committee deleted records and hired Hollywood producers to promote political narrative while investigating January 6th. Among its key findings, the report claimed that the Select Committee was designated to promote a political narrative and also asserted that it deleted records and hid evidence ahead of the Republicans taking the House majority during the 2020 election cycle. The Select Committee deleted records and hid evidence. We know that to be factual now. Representative Thompson and Cheney failed to turn over video recordings of witness interviews and depositions, despite using these recordings in their high-profile primetime hearings. The subcommittee recovered over 100 deleted passwords, protected files, including some files that were deleted days before Republicans took the majority. They also hid multiple transcribed interviews of witnesses who had firsthand knowledge of Trump's actions on January 6th, the report said, which was spearheaded by Republican Georgia Representative Barry Loudermilk. Thompson denied the claims of deleting evidence in the July 2023 letter to Loudermilk, detailing that the committee had called on the federal government responding to proper archive of such sensitive material to protect witness safety, national security, and the safeguard of law enforcement operations. Cheney also publicly and repeatedly denied claims the committee mishandled evidence. Donald Trump knows his claims about the Select Committee are ridiculous and false, as have been detailed extensively, including by Chairman Thompson. Cheney continued in her response to Trump's remarks over the weekend, referring to Thompson's 2023 letter. There is no conceivable appropriate fracture or constitutional bias for what Donald Trump is suggesting. A Justice Department investigation of the work of a congressional committee, and any lawyer who attempts to pursue that course would quickly find themselves engaged in a sanctionable conduct. Liz. You, Adam Schiff, Benny Thompson, and the rest of the committee are liars and thugs that were hell-bent on destroying Donald J. Trump, and you do not care if your reputation will be destroyed in doing so, as it has been. Besides the lies, deleting evidence, omitting key witness testimonies that cleared Trump, we also know that the FBI was actively involved in the whole thing was set up to entrap Trump supporters. We now know that all those on video yelling to storm the Capitol were no other than FBI agents dressed up as Trump supporters and even wearing MAGA hats. The gig is over, and you should and probably will be looking at jail time in the near future. We, the people, saw right through the J6 committee lies, as well as the lies of the New York AG Alvin Braggs, Special Counsel Jack Smith, New York AG Lieutenant James, Judge Arthur Argan, E.J. Carroll, Stormy Daniels, Judge Juan Marchin, DA Fannie Wells. Because of your witch hunts against Donald Trump, he is the next president of the United States. And Republicans control the House and the Senate now. So shut your pie hole and lawyer up, because you're going to need it. I do not blame Donald Trump for going after his opponents one bit, because what you all did over the past, well, let's go back 8 years, going back to when Donald Trump became president the first time, through his entire 4 years as president, and through the entire 4 years of Joe Biden as president. You have done one witch hunt after another and have come up empty-handed every single time, because it's all lies. And we, the people, saw through all of it. We watched as Adam Schiff stood there in front of cameras and said, I have the evidence to nail the coffin of Donald J. Trump, and then never produced the evidence. And things of that nature. The whole Russia collusion bullshit. That's all it was bullshit. None of it was true. You made up shit for 8 years trying to destroy this man. Almost got him killed with 2 assassination attempts. And yet, you're concerned that maybe now his Department of Justice and his FBI are going to go after you for criminal behavior? Well, guess what? If you didn't do anything wrong, then you've got nothing to worry about. The Department of Justice and the FBI won't find anything. But if you did, then maybe you should be calling Joe Biden tonight and asking him to pardon you. And I'm sure that's what's going to happen, just like he did with his own son, Hunter Biden. He didn't pardon him for 10 years, 9 years. No, 10 years and 11 months, going back to when he first went into Ukraine and started the company Burisma. Because Joe Biden knows his son was on his way to prison for life for the crimes he committed against this country. All right. Over the past 4 years under the Biden-Harris administration, I've reported on this many times. So have many other people. All news media have reported on this. Mysterious drones and other unknown flying objects, also known as UFOs and UAPs, have attempted to spy on sensitive U.S. military bases, and that the Pentagon has acknowledged that there is not much they can do to prevent the drones from continuing to spy on U.S. bases. According to Wall Street Journal, unidentified drones have flown over U.S. military bases in Virginia and Nevada over the past year and have spied on Naval Station Norfolk and Navy SEAL Team 6 Commando Unit. However, the outlet reported that federal law enforcement had prevented the Pentagon from taking action and shooting down the drones due to concerns that debris from the drones could harm Americans if it fell to the ground. Now, that's similar to the same shit that they said when we watched a Chinese spy balloon fly all the way across the United States of America. And they didn't shoot it down until it got out over the ocean. Well, how about this? How about you wait until there's not people underneath it and you shoot the damn things down, and we find out who is behind this crazy shit? That's a Marvel idea, isn't it? The recent report also claimed that the Biden-Harris administration has discussed jamming the signal of the mysterious drones. However, the idea was ruled against due to concerns that jamming the signal of the drones could negatively impact Wi-Fi. You know, We have got the most incompetent human beings on face of this earth in this administration in many, many different positions. It's absolutely mind-boggling to me that this is going on and we're not doing anything about it, nothing to stop it. According to the Wall Street Journal, General Glenn Van Herk, who the effort to shoot down the controversial Chinese spy balloon, has advised Department of Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin to have teams eavesdrop on the mysterious drones and other flying objects. If they're unknown objects within North America, he said, adding that the goal is to go out and identify them. Former U.S. Air Force General Mark Kelly was first notified of the mysterious drone sightings by Langley Air Force Base officials back in December of 2023, so a year ago, according to the Wall Street Journal. The officials claimed that fleets of drones could be seen flying over the Virginia base at night. The outlet noted that the drones were spotted for a period of roughly 17 days, and we did nothing about it, leading officials to question whether the drones were part of a Chinese or Russian spy operation. Despite housing some of the country's most advanced stealth weaponry and SEAL Team 6, weaponry such as the F-22 Raptor fighter jets, the U.S. military was not permitted to shoot the drones down since spying on the base was not considered an immediate threat. That's the woke bastards at our Pentagon. While the identity of the drones remains a mystery, officials did discover that one of the drones spotted near Langley Air Force Base was flown by a 26-year-old by the name of Fujini Shai. The FBI, during the investigation, found that he had taken photos of Navy ships at the base after officials discovered an abandoned drone belonging to him that was stuck in a tree back in January. According to the Wall Street Journal, Shea was later arrested and pleaded guilty to espionage. Over the past 4 years, these drones have been flying freely over New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Washington State, California, Wyoming, Nevada, and Colorado. Yet the administration has taken no action to stop them. Drones can be equipped with weapons such as bombs, missiles, and machine guns. They can also be equipped to deploy bio or chemical type weapons and kill hundreds of thousands of innocent Americans. And this administration, as well as our Joint Chiefs of Staff, our FBI, our Department of Justice, and CIA, have failed to uphold their oath of office to protect Americans against all enemies, foreign and domestic, by taking no action whatsoever to put a stop to this. They don't know who's doing it because they won't shoot one down and try and trace it back to who it belongs to. How about this? How about you get some helicopters up in the air with some nets underneath them, and you just go scoop these fuckers up and land and turn it over to the FBI to figure out who they belong to? Or how about you follow them? That's a brilliant idea. And see where they go. So let's take a look real quick at a latest breaking news story about this actual event.
Chris Smith, his constituents have been reporting drone activity over recent days. It's been happening over several weeks. Congressman, good to have you with us. The White House not ruling out anything, not giving us any answers. Neither did this hearing that we just heard some questions in. What is going on here, and when can people expect to get some answers from our leaders?
They should have had them immediately. Last night I was on the beach with Sheriff Astronomy, and he's doing a magnificent job in trying to ascertain a threat for this. He's the Ocean County Sheriff. Sean Golden's doing the same thing in Monmouth County. So I was there on the beach, and I talked to several people, including a commander for the Coast Guard, who told me that the night before, I was there last night, so 2 nights ago, one of their 47-foot vessels, boats, was trailed very closely by more than a dozen of these of these drones. Now that, to me, is very, very not just suspicious, provocative, and this could be a foreign power, whether it be Putin, or whether it be Xi Jinping in China, or the Middle East. We can't rule any of that out.
Yeah, this is incredible. I mean, so a United States Coast Guard boat testified to you that 12 drones were following it in the water in the Atlantic Ocean. Did they tell you anything about the size, what they look like? Were they able to get images? How close were they?
They were pretty large, and they weren't far off.
The size of a car.
So it's very, very troubling. I called the joint base and talked to the commanding officer there and asked, we know we have the capability within DOD to ascertain where it's coming from, even bring it down, and they have it, but they don't have the, quote, authority to do it.
What, from who? See, this is the question, Congressman. So when you're out over the ocean and you have 12 of them out there, I think, it's a very reasonable question. Why weren't one of those drones trailing the Coast Guard ship shot down over the ocean and grabbed and checked out?
Well, again, the capability to do that in a way that could retrieve what it is and who's doing it, it resides within the DOD. They have it. I've asked the commanding officer to get that authority. I've written Lloyd Austin to ask him to give that authority. I mean, this could be the beginning of something, or it could be nothing. Who knows? But how dare they allow us to live? I just listened to the White House spokeswoman.
Say nothing.
They got nothing to tell us.
Unbelievable.
And we have the capability. And the night before, I was there last night till late. The night before, one of our police officers, again working for Sheriff Mastronardi, chronicled 50 coming from the ocean onto land. 50. This is really serious stuff.
It's insane. It's like a sci-fi movie, and it could be a hoax, but it's so large, the number of them.
There's probably a ship.
It's a foreign entity. It's something that the U.S. knows and understands, or it's some kind of massive hoax with lots of people involved. But whatever it is, we absolutely have to know. So, this lack of answers is absolutely
there's
really
no way
upsetting.
it's a hoax. We have foreign powers, especially
China,
Putin, Russia,
and we watched the balloon go across and didn't shoot it down until it was well out over the ocean. So let's hope we can get it right this time. It's already very late in that process. Unbelievable. I had one, go over my house, and it's a strange feeling. So
we'll let you know what we hear from DOD, because they should get that authority today.
Well,
you took an oath. Everybody at the FBI and Department of Justice, the CIA, the military, Biden, Harris, you all took an oath to protect and defend the United States and its citizens. And you're doing nothing about this. Thank God Donald Trump is coming in, and we're going to fix this shit. We're going to shoot down these drones. When we see 50 of them that are the size of a car coming from the ocean into America, we're going to shoot them down. And we're going to find out who they belong to. This is going on as I speak all across this country in numerous states. Someone is flying drones the size of cars, and we don't know who it is. And they're spying or flying over sensitive areas like nuclear facilities, our submarine ports in Virginia, SEAL team training areas. And, we can't shoot them down because their excuse, it might injure some people on the ground. So you wait till it's not over a populated area, you dumb fucks, and you shoot it down. That's how you do this. This is why you're going to be no longer in charge in just a few weeks, because you're a bunch of incompetent idiots. Just, it is absolutely, as someone who has served this country with honor in the military and in law enforcement, I am blown the hell away at the level of incompetence that is in this current administration. I thought shit was bad when Obama was president. I thought shit was bad back when Jimmy Carter was president. But what we're seeing happen in the past 4 years is criminal, my friends. It's outright criminal. And they just don't care. Which is why their ass is no longer going to be in charge of shit. Nothing. You're out of here come January 20th. Pack your shit up and go elsewhere. And then wait for the Department of Justice to come knock on your damn door and arrest your ass for what you've done to this country. Many of you may have been following the Daniel Penny story. Well, New York jury has acquitted Marine combat veteran, 26-year-old Daniel Penny, for the 2023 death of Jordan Neely, a homeless man with mental health issues who Penny put in a chokehold for nearly 6 minutes during a tense encounter on the subway. Now, Penny did not know that this guy had any type of mental illness. He did not know that he was homeless. All he knew, as the other people on the subway knew, was this man came on board that subway and started threatening people's lives and saying he did not care if he went to prison for the rest of his life. He was going to kill people. And then started demanding things that didn't make sense, like food and water and so forth. And this Marine veteran, fearing for his life, stood up and stopped the threat. Well, people called 911 and they got the subway stopped, the train, and they got police in there to come take custody of this guy. And the guy ends up dying. All right. Jury cleared Penny of criminal neglect homicide in this guy's death. A more serious manslaughter charge was dismissed earlier in deliberations because the jury deadlocked on that count. Both charges were felonies and carried the possibility of prison time. Both applause and anger broke out in the courtroom as the not guilty verdict came in. Neely's father was escorted out of the courtroom after an audible outburst. Another person also left, wailing in tears. Penny, who had shown little expression during the trial, briefly smiled at the verdict as it was read. The not guilty verdict was praised by Republican New York City Councilwoman Joanne Arroy, who said justice has prevailed. Daniel Penny is a hero, and I'm happy to see that a good man was not punished for doing the right thing in defending his fellow New Yorkers from a mentally ill criminal who fell between the cracks, she said. Good news for New York City. Daniel Penny has been acquitted. Democrat Council member Robert Holden said in a statement on X. Justice has been served for a U.S. Marine who bravely stepped up to protect fellow New Yorkers during a moment of danger. This outcome highlights the need to focus on real solutions, like addressing untreated mental health illnesses, something I've been preaching about for quite some time now, to prevent future tragedies like this from happening again. City Councilman Yusuf Salam, a member of the Central Park Five who was wrongfully convicted, said the verdict represented a serious indictment of schematic failures. No, it didn't. His killing underscores the urgent and overdue need for a complete overhaul in how we address mental health crisis and the homeless, Sabali said. Speaking outside the court, Neely's father said his son didn't have to go through this. In an emotional statement, it hurts, really, really hurts. What are we going to do, people? What's going to happen to us now? I've had enough of this. The system is rigged. Let's do something about this. Now, to his family, look, I'm sorry that you lost your loved one. I mean, it's tragic. But your loved one boarded a subway and threatened people's lives. And when good men do nothing, bad men flourish. So are good men supposed to just sit back and not get involved? and let this person harm women and children or innocent men? No, that's not how we do shit. The trial, which began back in October, centered on Ruther Penny, an architect student and Marine Corps veteran, was justified in using potential lethal force on this guy during the May 1st, 2023 incident. Witnesses describe Neely, a street performer, entering the subway car and yelling threatening messages to passengers that he didn't have any food or water and didn't care if he went back to prison. He was going to kill people. Neely also said he was willing to kill. Prosecutors argued Penny's initial attempts to defend his fellow passengers was understandable, but that the student went too far and used lethal force unnecessarily. Well, if you go watch his interview with law enforcement when he was questioned at the police station, which is all over social media, it's on YouTube, it's on Rumble, you can watch it anywhere. He's plainly stating to them, I did not want to kill this guy. He doesn't even know the guy's dead when they're interviewing, by the way, if you've ever seen the interview. He has no clue. And he's telling them, my intention was not to kill him, okay? It was to put him in this chokehold to stop him from killing other people until cops got there to take care of the situation. This guy goes on to say, you obviously cannot kill someone because they're crazy and ranting and looking menace, no matter what it is they are saying. Manhattan Assistant District Attorney Defani Yorthan told jurors during closing arguments. Well, sir, that's a blatant lie. Because you are justified as an American to kill another human being in this country who is actively engaged in action to kill innocent people, and you feel your life or the life of others is threatened. Maybe during law school, you were eating crayons instead of paying attention to the part that talks about self-defense and self-defense of others. The defense, meanwhile, argued that Penny's actions were justified by the perceived threat to the passengers on the train. And they were, and the jury saw it that way as well. Daniel Penny was the one who moved to protect them, defense attorney Stephen Reiser said during closing arguments. Why? Because he had something the others didn't, something that was unique to him. Hand-to-hand combat training provided by the United States Marine Corps. The defense called a pathologist who testified other outside factors could have contributed to Neely's death besides the chokehold, like the man's use of synthetic marijuana that was in his system, schizophrenia, which he had, and his genetic predisposition of sickle cell alignments. City medical examiner, Dr. Cynthia Harris, maintained during her testimony in the trial that Neely died from compression of the neck and that no toxicology results imaginable was going to change my opinion. Of course not, because you're not really a pathologist, are you? You're just somebody that just bought that degree online and hung it in your office. If you don't think that anything else played a factor in this, and you think it's okay for people to start threatening to kill other people on a subway system that's out of control, by the way. If you ride the subway system in New York, you're taking your life in your hands. The court also heard from a Marine Corps instructor who spoke about Penny's training using chokehold techniques. The defense claims Penny sought to put Neely in a civilian hold and wait for police. During the trial, jurors watched video of Penny speaking with police after the incident, where he described Neely as a crackhead who was acting like a lunatic. I just wanted to keep him from getting to people, Penny told police, adding, I'm not trying to kill the guy. I'm trying to stop him from killing other people. Elsewhere, bystanders testified both that they were relieved when Penny detained Neely and that a Marine Corps vet ignored pleas to let the homeless man go. Penny himself did not take the stand during the trial, which his defense lawyers say his client's statement to police adequately described the encounter. Jury deliberations began on Tuesday, December 12th. The 12-person panel struggled for days to reach the required unanimous verdict. The judge overseeing the case allowed prosecutors on this past Friday, December 6th, to drop the top charge against Penny, second-degree manslaughter, clearing the way for the panel to consider a lesser charge, a criminal neglect homicide. Now, that in itself should get this judge disbarred, because the way the law was written was you can't go to the lesser charge unless you've made a determination on the first charge is not being part of this at all. In other words, not guilty of the first charge. Yet they throw that out because the jury's hung on it and let them go look at the other one, neglect homicide. In the face of the continued deliberations, Penny's defense moved for a mistrial request that was promptly denied. Outside the criminal trial, Neely's father also filed a lawsuit against Penny on Wednesday, December 4th, over the subway choking, accusing the student of neglected contact, assault, and battery that caused Neely's injury and death. Subway incident in which a white man choked a black man for minutes quickly became embroiled in the ongoing national debate about racism, policing, and public safety. It came in the wake of nationwide protests after Minneapolis police killed George Floyd, a black man, in somewhat similar circumstances by kneeling on his neck and back for minutes as the crowd urged them to stop. The debate around the subway killing also touched a nerve about New York's more local issues. The city has struggled with fears about crime in the subway. Criticism of Mayor Eric Adams for a mandate to involuntarily hospitalize mentally ill homeless people and continued systematic failures to provide accurate housing and care to unhoused people other than illegal aliens. That's all he cares to put in a hotel. Millions of dollars were wasted for Penny's legal defense, or raised through his defense with Give, Send, Go, a funding raised platform. Many people that ride the New York subway system and deal with the out-of-control crime every day held Penny as a subway superman, an ordinary citizen taking back the streets in an unsafe, Democrat-led city. Others saw the killing as an example of white privilege and New York City's failure to care for vulnerable people like Neely. His mother previously died in a violent crime, and Neely himself bounced in and out of prison and homeless shelters as he struggled with drugs and mental health challenges like depression and schizophrenia. New York City public advocate Jawan Williams previously told The Independent, the public attention around the case has created a narrative that devalues life of a black homeless man with mental health challenges, encourages an attitude of dehumanization of New Yorkers' his greatest need. I'm not even going to comment on that. And if that statement is not an absolute no merit statement, I don't know what is. After Neely's death, demonstrators jumped on New York City subways, tracks, and protests immediately after the death. They reprised their protests during the deliberations, replacing subway ads with signs reading "A man was lynched here," a reference to historic anti-lynching campaigns during the civil rights movement. And I'll add that I hope the FBI, and I'll add that I hope that the FBI and local law enforcement are paying attention to the outbursts from black advocates of Jordan Neely, because they're all over social media tonight. Even some were shown on Fox News last night, FBI and Department of Justice, calling for black people to rise up and attack and kill white people. They're inciting violence, and that is a crime. And the only way you're going to stop that is you put them in prison. That's how the system works. The stark realities of illegal immigration have become impossible to ignore in America's largest cities, where progressive leadership has long championed sanctuary policies, but the time of reckoning is finally here. New York City Mayor Eric Adams recently made waves with his candid remarks about the burden illegal immigrant criminals have placed on his city. He stated weakness in order to work. He stated willingness to work with incoming border czar Tom Homan, signals a growth accomplishment among Democrats that their current approach is politically toxic after the 2024 election showed record numbers of Hispanic and Asian Americans in urban centers voting Republican and rejecting open borders. Meanwhile, in Chicago, residents have expressed outrage over the progressive mayor's decision to protect illegal immigrant criminals. The contrast statements of these two Democrat mayors reflect a broader, defining moment of the Democrat Party. We will work to remove criminal illegal immigrants or continue to defend policies that shelter them at the expense of taxpayers and innocent victims. The frustration in New York City and Chicago stems from the same root, poorly enforced immigration laws, coupled by soft-on crime local policies. Sanctuary cities with limited local cooperation with federal immigration authorities were promoted under the pretense of protecting vulnerable immigrants who came to America to work or just go on with their lives. However, they have devolved into shields for criminals who exploit these policies at the expense of law-abiding citizens, legal immigrants, and other unauthorized immigrants. And across America, illegal immigrant gangs have taken over apartment complexes, formed shoplifting rings, and even robbed and masturbated in front of assistant district attorney inside her own home. No bail means that criminals are released nearly every single time after they are arrested, only to commit more felonies. Further, sanctuary city policies mean that even after convictions or arrests, these criminals aren't being held long enough for Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, to remove them from the country. Perhaps the 2024 election results in New York, which moved further right than in any other state in the last 4 years, pushing Adams to change his tone on immigration. His openness to collaborate with Homan could mark a shift in Democrat Party stance. If persuaded in earnest, this cooperation could help restore law and order by prioritizing the removal of illegal immigrants who have committed crimes. But Adams faced opposition from the socialist-leaning city council, so he will have to act alone. He can align with the majority of Americans who overwhelmingly support deporting criminals who are here illegally. Or he can cave to the progressive wing of his party, which continue to defend policies that keep criminals on American streets. Democrat Party's dilemma presents a historic opportunity for Republicans and for President-elect Donald Trump in particular. His promise to secure the border and prioritize the removal of criminal illegal immigrants is widely supported by the public. And according to a recent Gallup poll, nearly 2/3 of Americans believe immigration is a good thing for the country. A Manhattan Institute poll suggested that Americans are also most interested in welcoming more legal immigrants who won't depend on government assistance and will assimilate. Mass deportations of all illegal immigrants may be divisive, but most Democrat voters also support deporting illegal criminals. And that, by the way, is all that's going to be accomplished. There's no way in 4 years Donald Trump can deport all the illegal aliens here, nor is that actually what he's going to attempt to do. They're going to go after the criminals, those that are here illegally, came across our border illegally and committed crimes, and then these sanctuary cities let them back out. That's who they're going to go after. And it's going to take all of 4 years plus to round these people up and get them out of here. This suggests that Americans are ready for a balanced approach, one that welcomes legal immigrants while forcefully deporting criminals. How exactly could Donald Trump do this, especially in sanctuary jurisdictions? In a bold and strategic move, Trump should deploy ICE agents to sanctuary city police stations where criminal illegal immigrants are often processed and then released. Sanctuary policies often prohibit law enforcement from holding illegal immigrants for additional time and going the extra mile to help ICE catch them. Both local law enforcement cannot inhibit ICE from catching criminals if they happen to be right in front of them. Trump has a chance to unite Americans on immigration by acting forcefully against criminal illegal immigrants and gain more popularity to incite, enhance and resist rest of his agenda. And Democrat mayors and governors must choose. Will they stand in the way or will they protect their own citizens before they get voted out? And sadly, they will be voted out. Or here's an idea. Hoffman needs to start putting them in prison. That's right. If any DA, any judge, any city council member, any mayor protects an illegal immigrant that committed a crime by not letting ICE come get them, they then need to go to jail. Federal law trumps state law. Federal law says that you cannot knowingly and willingly harbor an illegal alien, much less a criminal illegal alien. So until we start locking these mayors and judges and DAs up, this shit will continue. And I do believe now, for the next 4 years, we're going to see a law and order like you've never seen possible in the United States of America. And I applaud the shit out of that. A new bill is being considered in Missouri that would offer residents a $1,000 bounty for reporting illegal immigrants in the United States. The bill would also allow bounty hunters to search for illegal immigrants and detain them. That should be in every state. According to Fox 2, the new bill, which was proposed by Republican State Senator-elect David Gregory, was first made public today. If passed, the bill would create a system for residents to report illegal immigrants to the Missouri State Highway Patrol and receive their $1,000 reward. The proposed legislation, known as Senate Bill 72, states this act creates the offense of trespass by an illegal alien, which provides that that person shall be guilty of such offense if the person is an illegal alien who knowingly enters the state and remains here and is physically present in the state at the time a licensed bounty hunter or peace officer apprehends the person. Senate Bill 72 warns that illegal immigrants also remain in Missouri will face imprisonment without probation or parole, and that illegal immigrants will be prevented from voting in elections, becoming legal residents of the state, receiving a permit or license of any sort, and receiving any public benefits. The bill states additionally, the Department of Public Safety shall develop an information system for people to report violations of this act, which shall include a toll-free telephone hotline, email, and online reporting portal. Any person who makes a report in which an illegal alien is arrested shall receive the $1,000 reward. The legislation would also direct the Department of Public Safety to establish the Missouri Illegal Alien Certified Bounty Hunter Program, which would allow licensed individuals to be bounty hunters for the purpose of finding and detaining illegal aliens in the state. Under the current bill proposed, anyone licensed as a scrutiny recovery agent, a bail bond agent, or a general bail bond agent would be eligible to apply for the Missouri Illegal Alien Certified Bounty Hunter Program. Senate Bill 72 would also establish the Missouri Illegal Alien Certified Bounty Hunter Program Fund, which would be allocated by the Missouri General Assembly. According to the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, Senate Bill 72 is one of 7 bills that have been introduced in the state legislature to address the issue of immigration. The outlet noted that other bill proposals have suggested fining cities $25,000 per day if they implement sanctuary city policies regarding businesses to ensure that employees are properly documented and establish a new immigration offense and consequences such as jail time and removal. And I go back to what I've been saying all along. I've been saying this for years. When you start arresting these DAs and these mayors and these city council members and anyone in city government or state government that's protecting illegal immigrant criminals, then you arrest them. The law says you can. Damn it. That's what Tom needs to do. Black Harris staffers are accusing the campaign leadership of mistreatment and outright racial discrimination. In a damning new article outlining numerous allegations against the now defunct campaign of Harris. The New York Times published a story on Sunday titled, "How Alarmed Harris Staffers Went Rogue to Reach Black and Latino Voters." The story detailed a clandestine operation by some campaign staffers who ignored directives from the top and took matters into their own hands after feeling frustrated by the campaign's lack of significant effort to reach voters of color in Philadelphia. Many staff members felt that Philadelphia's racially diverse neighborhoods were ignored. The Times story reads, adding that Black campaign staff members and political operatives said campaign leadership dismissed concerns that Democrats were taking their base for granted. As the election drew closer, the frustration with campaign leadership on the issues reached a boiling point, according to more than 30 staffers interviewed by the Times. After Ms. Harris lost, Black campaign employees set up a call to talk about career opportunities with Angela Ray, a political strategist and podcast host. The discussion quickly shifted as they shared their anger at how the campaign had threatened them and how underfunded and haphazard their field operations had been in several battleground states, according to a recording of the call obtained by the Times. The article reads, some staffers were also reportedly pissed off that the campaign did not hire enough people of color or contract with consult firms that had Black or Latino owners. The Times story cited staff members who alleged that many campaign offices in Philadelphia were filthy and lacked basic supplies like tables, chairs, cleaning products, and printers. Some campaign offices targeting predominantly Black communities were moved to upscale areas far from the areas that were assigned to serve, according to the Times. The Harris campaign reportedly commissioned an internal survey which concluded that Black staff members were frustrated with campaign leaders and felt that their ideas were ignored at a rate far higher than their white peers, according to the Times. Some complained of outright racial discrimination. The campaign leadership was made aware of the survey results, the article says. Staffers were reportedly afraid to leak these allegations to the press for fear of running or ruining future job prospects. The Times cited all-staff call after the election hosted by Quentin Fulks, the principal deputy campaign manager, who allegedly told staffers that talking to the media would hurt their careers. Harris campaign spokesperson Lauren Hitt reportedly denied that Fulker had used that language or tone on the call and said that he had instead counseled staff members against saying something in a moment of anger that could come to hurt themselves or the vice president, the Times noted. The article featured Cortina James, founder of the Collective PAC, a group that focuses on Black elected officials and voters that work with the Harris campaign, who revealed frantic staff members in Philadelphia, Detroit, and North Carolina, calling him in the final weeks of the race so they did not have enough money to provide food or water to their volunteers. That's because they were giving millions to celebrities. Still, Harris campaign leaders seemed to deny about the situation in Philadelphia, the Times wrote. Late on election night, Jen O'Malley Dilton, the campaign chair, wrote an all-staff email saying that the Harris campaign had overperformed turnout expectations there, especially in the areas with non-white voters. But it was Trump who overperformed with key Democrats or demographics in Pennsylvania, improving his numbers in predominantly Black and Latino areas, which helped him win the critical battleground state and ultimately the presidency on election night. Harris, by contrast, netted more than 30,000 less votes in Philadelphia than President Biden did in 2020. Some Democrat operatives and campaign staffers still disagree on whether it was voter outreach that fell short with people of color or lack of reliable messaging by the candidate. Kellyanne White, a senior advisor to the Harris campaign in Pennsylvania, told the Times, this campaign did more in Philadelphia to reach Black and Latino voters than any campaign had done in a long time. The issue is not that we didn't knock on these doors. We knocked on a ton of doors. The problem was that the message itself didn't connect. I wonder why that is. And that's what we as a party need to spend time and energy on, trying to understand why, when we knocked on these doors, what we had to say didn't resonate with enough voters. So this is what happens with your typical Democrat politician. Racist bullshit towards Black people, especially when the narrative that the candidate is a Black woman. And the news media is spreading false information that Kamala Harris would become the first Black woman to be president, yet knowing damn well that she was not an African American, nor was she an American Black woman. Her mother was born and raised in India, and her father was born and raised in Jamaica. Kamala herself was very outspoken during her time as a lawyer and running for election as a DA, that she was not an African American or a Black American, and she was proud that she was of Indian heritage. But when running for president, she fell in line with the Democrats' lies that she was African American. But thankfully, enough on the right exposed all the shit that she's been saying for years and years and years, running for positions in California where she welcomed her heritage, which she should. She should be proud of being an Indian and having Jamaican and India background. But yet, the news media, when she became the runner-up to be president, went on this whole campaign of how she's going to be the first Black woman, American Black woman. Just because the color of your skin is Black doesn't make you an African American. Just because the color of your skin is white doesn't make you a racist, skinhead, Nazi, neo-Nazi, KKK member. You know, if you vote for somebody because of the color of their skin, that's racist. And so is not voting for somebody because of the color of their skin. Anyhow, thank you for dealing with my cold tonight and me blowing my nose and coughing up crap out of my lungs. I'm finally getting through this cold that I've been dealing with for the past week. Damn, as you get older and you get sick, more and more it takes longer to get rid of this crud. But we're finally getting well around here. And I'm pushing right on through to bring you the news and factual information, which is what you've come to expect from this show. In the description of this video and all my videos, all my shows, you can see the places you can follow me on social media. Go there, follow me, and I'll be sure to follow you back. That's how we do this. Whether you're watching me tonight on a YouTube or Rumble or X or LinkedIn, please subscribe to the channel. Also, share the channel with your friends and family and on your social media platforms, and share my videos. And let's build this coalition and build it bigger and stronger and as fast as we possibly can to reach as many people as we possibly can. Because the fight, my friends, is not over. It's only just begun. Now that Republicans have all three branches of government, it is time that we hold them accountable so that they don't do what they did the last time they had all three branches of government, and that is fuck off. No, it's time to work. Now, I'm not saying that all Republicans screwed around and didn't do shit, but a good percentage of them are a bunch of rhinos and wasted, taking up too much oxygen on planet Earth, just like 98% of the Democrats in Washington, D.C. You have many places to be tonight. Chose to be here with me, and for that, I'm forever grateful. I'll be back on Thursday night for another live show. If anything breaks between now and then, I'll do a video about it or do a live show about it. Other than that, please say a prayer for our men and women serving the United States military, our veterans, our law enforcement officers, our first responders, their families, our angel families, our blue and gold star families in our country. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless each and every one of you. And I can't wait for January 20th to get here. Just think, folks, since being president-elect, Donald J. Trump has gotten more accomplished than Biden has in the past 4 years. And that speaks volumes. Have a blessed night, everyone. I'll see you next Thursday, or this Thursday.